There are a few teams having strange seasons, but I'm not sure anyone's is as strange as the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets are basically spending this year suspended in amber. I mean, they just pulled off a spectacular free agency coup, besting their crosstown big brother to sign a player who could end up as top 10 all time. But because of his injury timeline, they won't even see him on the court until next year. And yet, in the meantime, it's not like they're really in player development mode, like, say, the Warriors, who, while they wait for Steph and Klay to come back, have one of the youngest teams in the league. No, the average age of the starting lineup the Nets put out there last night against the Pelicans, 26 and a half. Many of these guys are in their prime NBA years usually spent trying to build towards something bigger. Except in the Nets' case, that something bigger is already predetermined and will look different enough from what's going on this year. It can be hard sometimes to even connect the two. And I haven't even gotten into the whole Kyrie situation. After playing Brooklyn's first 11 games, Kyrie has now missed their last 16 with a shoulder injury. And while no, the Nets are not a better team without him, they do right now have a better record without him, which could lead to some uncomfortable conversations down the road. Because Kyrie Irving is the Nets starting point guard, except also Spencer Dinwiddie has been flat out fantastic starting in his place. He's played aggressive, timely basketball, even threw in a monster dunk over Tobias Harris the other night. Great reaction, guys, from his teammates on the bench. I mean, they got into it because Dinwiddie doesn't dunk that often, and the rest of the guys did give him a hard time afterward. Here was DeAndre Jordan in the locker room after that game. I haven't seen Spence dunk since he was at Colorado, so it was good to see that tonight. Spencer, he tries to save his athleticism for, well, I don't know what. His son was here too, so he got to see it. Hopefully he wasn't eating candy or something where he missed it. Joe Harris chimed in too, quote, Spencer's probably the most athletic guy in the NBA who doesn't use his athleticism. That got Dinwiddie going on social. He quote tweeted Harris with the line, dunking is a choice, Joe, conscious choice. All joking aside, Coach Kenny Atkinson calls Dinwiddie the team's, quote, difference maker. And if you go back to that game against the Pels last night, you can see why. Despite often being checked by Drew Holiday, Dinwiddie spent the whole night attacking, pouring in 31 points. He was also the key figure in the game's strangest moment. This is the end of regulation, team's tied. Dinwiddie heaves the shot, doesn't go, right? Buzzer sounds, everyone gets ready for overtime. Except, look at it again. The ball doesn't actually hit the rim at all. This should have been a shot clock violation, which would mean the Pelicans should have gotten an extra 3 seconds or so of regulation to steal the win, or at least try to. Alvin Gentry not happy, although honestly, considering how overtime did go for the Pelicans, I'm not sure those extra 3 seconds would have done very much. Brooklyn just dominated the OT and scored the win, which advanced their record to 15-12. That puts them in number 7 in the East, which I guess is good, although considering what Brooklyn has coming next year, it's hard sometimes to feel like any of this matters a ton either way. At least the Nets do look like they're having fun, which if you're going to be suspended in place, why not? All right, Paul, considering how well Spencer Dinwiddie has played in the absence of Kyrie Irving, how should the Nets manage the two when Kyrie comes back?
I think you got to play them both. And I really think Kyrie is a better player off the ball because Dinwiddie, he's been in the system already for a year. They were having fun last year. They made the playoffs, so they're really used to him being out there with that core group. Now, Kyrie played his best basketball with Cleveland when LeBron was the primary ball handler. So I look at him, they're like, Dinwiddie should be the guy who kind of like manages the game a little better. Kyrie's a better scorer than him, so put him at the 2 guard. I mean, I think it'll work well that way than Kyrie being the primary ball handling because, you know, he likes to go into his shake and bake. Guys are watching and everybody's not touching the ball, so I like him better at the 2 with Dinwiddie.
Good luck selling Kyrie on that one. That'll be a fun conversation.
I mean, wasn't part of his issue in Cleveland is he felt he wasn't allowed to be the point guard the way he wanted to be?
While leading his basketball
in shots. They're both going to play a lot. I mean, I think you have to bring Dinwiddie off the bench. If Kyrie is guaranteed to start, Dinwiddie was coming off the bench, and maybe you cut Kyrie's minutes a little bit. You know, as you said in the opening, this season is kind of a placeholder season. Why play him 36, 37 minutes and let Dinwiddie run wild? By the way, he's making an all-star case. This is like he's having an unbelievable season. And I will say,
and yet you're saying send him back to the bench?
Well, if you play the two of them together, as Paul is hinting at, one of them on every possession is going to be a little bit marginalized and not sort of playing to the best of his ability. So, and by the way, the guy we're not even talking about is Karis LeVert, who also needs the ball and is also really young. So this is,
I think for chemistry-wise, Dinwiddie needs to be the primary ball handler. And then when Karis LeVert comes back, he could be your sixth man. But I do believe you have to play those two guys together with him the primary ball handler.
Regardless, they're going to play together a lot, and they've been very good together when they've been on the floor this year. So who comes off the bench, who starts, whatever, they're going to play a lot, and it's going to be interesting.
So what happens if you bring Kyrie back, bring Dinwiddie to the bench, and then they're not having fun no more, and they start losing games? Then there's going to be a lot of guys. That's when the chitter and the chatter comes into the locker room where guys are talking behind each other's backs, and then the whole chemistry just gets thrown off. So we'll see what happens. If that happens, then it could be a long season for the Nets.
I mean, look, Kyrie has to come back for this to be an issue, and every week we think, okay, he's getting back into it. It could be soon. Every week we go by so far, we haven't seen it yet. We will obviously keep you guys posted. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.